Good morning, children. I hope you all are ready with book and pen. And before you on your video, I want you all to press the button of your brain. Shocking now, children? Why ma'am is asking to press the button of brain and how can we do it? You're thinking, yes, children, your brain has the ability to store around 2.5 million GB digital memory. Yes, children, your brain has a capacity of 2.5 million GB digital memory. Then you need to activate by pressing the button of concentration and attention. Please sit away from distractions. Okay, children. Let us start the lesson with some motivational questions, children. What is life, or how do you know an organism is dead? How do you know an organism is dead? Yes, children, dead organisms can't move, can't breathe, they don't respond. If an organism moves or shows some breathing activities or respond, we say it has life. Yes, children, if an organism moves or shows some response to external stimuli or breathe or have some breathing activities, we call it as it has life. We say it has life. Then what is life? Life is a self-regulated system where chemical reactions are going on all the time. Okay, children, what is life? Life is a self-regulated system where chemical reactions are going on all the time that leads to maintenance, growth, response and reproduction. Okay, children. So, life is a self-based regulated system where chemical reactions are going on all the time that lead to maintenance, growth, response and reproduction. You all understood, children? So when all the organisms show some response to external stimuli or they have growth, we call it as life. Now what is life process? Life process is the basic functions of living organisms which are essential for their survival and maintenance. So life processes are the basic functions of living organisms which are essential for their survival and maintenance. Okay, children. So life and life process plays a very important role in the living organisms. Now we shall learn what are the characteristics of life processes. The characteristics of life processes is first is nutrition. So what is nutrition? The process by which the body takes in the food and uses the food for producing energy, and that energy is used to perform various activities. We call it as nutrition. Understood, children? So this nutrition is different in plants and it is different in animals. So in animals the nutrition is very complicated when compared to plants. And the second one is respiration. So what is respiration? Respiration is taking in oxygen which is used to break down and release energy. Respiration is a process of taking in oxygen which is used to break down and release energy. It is used to oxidize the food or break down the food to release energy. Okay, children. So respiration and nutrition play a very important role in organisms. Now we have transportation. Transportation is both in plants and animals. It is the movement of materials like water, oxygen and food from cell to cell. In animals we call it as circulatory system and in plants we call it as transportation. Understood, children? So transportation is the movement of materials like water, oxygen and food from cell to cell. We have next excretion. So excretion is a process in which the removal of waste products which are produced during metabolic activities, they have to be removed out from the body time to time. So the removal of waste products which are produced during various activities are thrown out from the body, we call it as excretion. So excretion is the removal of waste products from the body. And the next one is response to external stimuli. So we call this property as irritability, children. So irritability is one of the important characteristic of life process we find in all the organisms to show response to external stimuli. For example, if you see a delicious food, mouth start watering, or when you keep a hand on the hot object, we immediately take it away. So these are called response to external stimuli. And the next one is reproduction in organisms. So all the living organisms give birth to young ones of their own kind. Okay, dogs give birth to puppies, then cats give birth to kittens. Then the important nutrients required for the body for various activities, we call them as nutrients. The important food items which are required for the body in order to perform various activities, we call it as nutrients. Okay, so these nutrients are of many types, children. So we have different types of nutrients. All these nutrients are very important for the body development and regulation. We have different types of nutrients like carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and lipids are also called fats. So carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and lipids are fats. Now we shall see fats and carbohydrates are said to be energy producers, children. Fats and carbohydrates, or carbohydrates and fats are energy producers. Proteins are called body builders, and vitamins and minerals are said to be protective food or immunity boosters. Now we shall learn about classification of nutrition. Nutrition is nothing but the process by which the food is taken into the body to perform various activities. Now we have different types of nutrition. That is, first one is autotrophic nutrition, which we can see in plants. Plants prepare their own food using water, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and with the help of chlorophyll, plants prepare their own food. This process in plants is called photosynthesis, and the preparation of food in the plants is called photosynthesis, and such type of nutrition in plants is called as autotrophic nutrition. And for autotrophic nutrition, plants basically use sunlight as the main source and raw materials like water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll to prepare their own food. And in plants, we call the nutrition as holophytic nutrition. Now we shall learn about heterotrophic nutrition. It is a mode of nutrition in which the organisms obtain ready-made organic food from outside sources, children. It is a mode of nutrition in which the organisms depend upon other organisms for their food. The organisms that depend upon other organisms for their food are called heterotrophs. We have three types of heterotrophic nutrition, children: Holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition. In holozoic nutrition, the organisms feed by injecting the solid food. The organic matter is the solid food in which they digest and absorb into their bodies. For example, human beings, animals, and insectivorous plants. They directly take the solid food. And saprophytic organisms feed on dead and decaying matter like bacteria and fungi, which digest the food externally before the nutrients are absorbed. Okay, children. Parasitic nutrition we find in those organisms which depend upon other living organisms for their food. The parasitic organisms obtain nutrients by living on or other living organisms. Now we have types of holozoic nutrition, children. We have three types of holozoic nutrition: herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. So herbivores are those which depend upon green plants, and carnivores which depend upon other organisms, other flesh of other organisms, and omnivores depends upon both plants and animals. Now we have nutrition in lower organisms. So in nutrition in lower organisms, we can take amoeba as the best example. In amoeba, by simple diffusion, the food is taken into the body. So single cell, children. When amoeba, that is the outer part of the amoeba, we call pseudopodia, falls sweet. When the food comes in contact with the body, it engulfs the food particle into the body, into the cell, and get digested. Understood, children? So in the amoeba you find nucleus and cytoplasm, and food vacuole you find. Once the food particle comes in contact with the outer cell of the body, that is called pseudopodia, it engulfs the food particle into the body and digest it, and the digestion is internal, and once the food is digested, by simple diffusion the food is expelled out. Well understood, children? So that's how we can see in lower organism, by simple diffusion the food particles enter into the body. We have 5 different types of or steps involved in nutrition. What are the steps involved in nutrition? First is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So ingestion is taking in food, children. The food what we take into our body is called ingestion. That food what we take is broken down into simple particles. The complex food is broken down into simpler soluble food substances. We call it as digestion. And that digested food is absorbed into the body cells for the production of new cells, children. That is called absorption. And assimilation is absorbed food is used to provide energy and to form new protoplasm. And egestion is removal of undigested food. Okay, children. So what are the steps involved in digestion? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Got it, children? So in exam they'll ask you, mention the steps involved in digestion. There are 5 steps involved in digestion, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So these 5 steps are found in higher organisms in order to undergo a digestive process, or we call it as nutrition. Okay, children. So what are the 5 steps involved in digestion? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So ingestion is taking in food. Digestion is breaking down of the food particles into simpler particles. And absorption is the digested food is absorbed into the body cells. And assimilation is absorbed food is used to provide energy to form new protoplasm. Protoplasm is the living matter of the cell, children. Nucleus and cytoplasm together we call it as protoplasm. You'll understood, children? And egestion is throwing out of undigested food. Once the food is digested, the waste is thrown out from the body. We call it as egestion. Now we shall see digestive system in man or nutrition in man, children. So the digestive system or nutrition in man involves 2 types of process. One is mechanical digestion and the other one is chemical digestion. In mechanical digestion, teeth and tongue is used to break down the food into simpler particles. And in chemical digestion, enzymes are involved to break down the food into simple particles. So digestive system starts from mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, large intestine, small intestine and anus. So the alimentary canal starts from the mouth and ends till the anus. Okay, children. So the digestive process starts from the mouth. So from the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. So when we talk about alimentary canal, so alimentary canal involves various organs like in the mouth, salivary glands, stomach, gastric juices or gastric glands which produces juice, then pancreas produce pancreatic juice, okay, which helps in breaking down the food, and then on to the duodenum we have pancreatic juice, and liver is the only gland which doesn't have any enzymes. Liver produces juice called bile juice, okay, bile juice is added, and then small intestine the food is digested. In the small intestine we have intestinal juice which produces various enzymes and breaks down the food into simple particles. So once when you start with the mouth, in the mouth you have salivary glands which secretes a juice called salivary amylase which breaks down starch into simple glucose. Got it, children? And not only that, in the digestion starts from the mouth. So with the help of teeth and tongue, the food is made to break down into simple particles and passed on to the esophagus. So esophagus has rings which helps in contraction and relaxation. Okay, we call this process as peristaltic movement. So the food is made to move or push into the stomach, okay, by contraction and relaxation process. We call this as peristaltic movement. So because of the peristaltic process, the food is passed into the stomach, and in the stomach we find gastric juice which breaks down the food into simple particles. In the gastric juice we have pepsin and renin enzymes which breaks down proteins into simple proteins, and then food is passed to the duodenum, that is the beginning of the small intestine. There is pancreas which adds juice to the food to break down into simple particles, and then liver adds bile juice. Bile juice is the only enzyme juice which doesn't have any enzymes, and then it is passed on to the small intestine. In the small intestine we have intestinal juices where many enzymes are produced. These enzymes breaks down the food into simple particles. So we can see trypsin, pepsinogen, okay, salivary intestinal amylase, all this helps to break down the food and digest the food. And once the food is digested, the waste is absorbed by the large intestine and thrown out through the rectum or anus. Understood, children? So the digestive system plays a very important role. Now we see, if they ask you draw a neat labeled diagram, you have to draw the diagram correctly and label the parts, children. So we have mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, then you have pancreas, duodenum, then liver, pancreas, and then small intestine. Small intestine is continued as large intestine, rectum and anus. Okay, children. So on to the duodenum, that is the beginning of the small intestine, you have liver, and then you have pancreas. So then small intestine, then large intestine, rectum and anus. Got it, children? So you have to draw the diagram very neatly and label the parts. So digestive system plays a very important role in breaking down the food. Now it's the time for assignment, children. So based on the explanation, I'm going to ask you some questions, and please prepare the answers for the questions and keep it ready, children. That will be really helpful for you for your exam. Now first question is, what is life process? Second one, mention the characteristics of life process. Mention the characteristics of life process. Third one, what is nutrition? Fourth one, write the classification of nutrition. How is the nutrition in lower organisms? Explain human digestive system with a neat labeled diagram. Explain human digestive system with a neat labeled diagram. Okay, children, in the next video I'm going to explain the next part of the lesson. Till then, see you. Thank you.